What's happening, people? So I got to play the new Need for Speed game in the recent beta that was held. It was a closed beta, and that ran from, I think it was Friday until Monday morning. And unfortunately, because of Australian internet speed, it took me something like 30 hours to download the, I think it was 17 or 18 gigabytes for the beta. So I only got to spend a few hours with it rather than spending the whole weekend, which is what I really wanted to do considering it was a long weekend. Now, the beta was designed to test the servers and the infrastructure and many other different things before launch, which is in early November. And like I said, it was closed, and unfortunately all the gameplay was confidential. So I'm not actually able to show you any of the gameplay that I recorded, which is a real shame because me and a couple of friends spent an hour or so crafting the ultimate cat wagon. And there's not really any more information that I can give you on that other than there were cats and it was awesome. So I thought I'd tell you my experience with the beta, and also with the game. It was my first opportunity to actually play this new title despite having seen a huge amount of gameplay on various other YouTube channels. So I was really keen to get my hands on it and see what it felt like. And I'm happy to report for the most part, it was really good. It was really satisfying. It has quite an arcadey feel to it, but at the same time there was a certain nuance to the controls, if that makes any sense. There was only 3 cars available at the start. There was a 90s or a 2000 model Civic, there was a 1990s Mustang, and there was the Subaru BRZ. I think later on you could buy more cars, but I never progressed far enough to be able to afford anything else. But I have heard that it was possible to rank up and earn enough cash to buy new vehicles later on. Now, you could modify your car in this beta, so you got a sense of the progression system and how the money worked and how the mod system worked. And also what I found was a bit strange was the story elements were really heavy in this beta. Like, if the beta was designed to test the servers and the infrastructure, I'm not sure why we had to sit through so many different cutscenes. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't really enjoy the story elements at all. It felt like a really tacky Fast and Furious movie, but ultimately I found like they were just trying too hard to be cool. It almost felt like it was written by your parents, like, yo, radical dude, we're gonna be driving around here. Like, it was really cringeworthy. So hopefully the story in the full game is only heavy earlier on, or maybe it's only available in the story mode. I'm hoping that eventually it's something that you can turn off, or it becomes less once all the tutorials are out of the way. But yeah, I found the story component of the game really bad, really bad. But the upside is that it played like a dream. Handling on the cars, even the 90s Mustang, which I chose, which is just an ugly piece of shite, even that handled well, and it sounded awesome. I think it really helps that the game is set, I think it's set between dusk and dawn, so you never really get full daytime. You might get sort of twilight and sunset, but you never get full daylight, and I think this really helps the game look impressive, because obviously they can hide a lot of stuff like draw distance and pop up with just darkness. But having said that, the cars are really shiny. The frame rate, from what I could see, didn't really dip. I didn't notice any major dips in the frame rate at all. And it seemed like it was always raining, so there was always light bouncing off puddles on the road and beads of water running down the body of the car. The whole thing looked really cool. In terms of performance, unfortunately my experience with the beta was a bit spotty. Maybe it's my internet connection, I don't know. I had problems with the Street Fighter beta, but with this one, the connection kept dropping out, and it wasn't just like I was getting lag, it would actually kick me out of the game and I had to fully restart, and this happened more than a few times. So I'm hoping that this is addressed for the main game, because the whole game apparently is always online. Like, even if you're doing story mode or single player stuff, you're still connected. So if it keeps throwing you out of the game, that will be an absolute killer. But obviously that's why we have these betas, so that they can find these sort of problems and address them before day one. So at this point, I am still pretty excited for Need for Speed. Obviously what I saw was only a very small slice of the game, so I don't have a huge concept of the roster of cars. Like, I've read lists and whatnot, but I haven't really had a good chance to customize everything and have a full play around with stuff. So I think ultimately the beta has made me more excited about the game, because despite the story elements being really awful and tacky, the gameplay was solid and the cars look and sound amazing. Anyway, let me know if you guys got involved in the beta, if you progressed any further than I did, and what your thoughts were on it, and if you're still excited for the game, or if you had some awful connection issues like I did and it's totally bummed you out. But yeah, that's all I've got for you this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later.